Hello, bright, beautiful, beloved soul friends. Welcome to another Conversations with Kristin, that glorious time of your day where you explore human consciousness from the inside out. So I'm up here on a hike. Check out this view. Isn't that gorgeous? So it's got me thinking about one of the personal power attributes. So personal power, long story short, is the ability to control or have power over, influence over the styles in which your brain's neural networks engage and become rewired. And this happens through conscious direction of your energy through intention and attention. And there are 10 characteristics that are or 10 attributes that characterize personal power. And one of them is perspective. And this here is a really perfect metaphorical analogy example thingy-mabobber for talking about this, okay? So when we're in our day-to-day lives, we're moving through it, it's a moment-by-moment experience. We don't have access to the full picture of our lives. We're not looking at the whole thing. If we do that, then we're not fully connected with the present moment and its individuality. And so when we're moving through, it's like being a person who's down there and they're moving through their little thing. But up here, I get the full picture. I get the full perspective. I get a different perspective than being down there in the midst of the everyday stuff. And I can see the expansive beauty that life is. And so imagine that this view is your brain. And every little house and every little car and every little person and every little tree is one piece of energy in your brain's wiring, one aspect of your neural networks engaging in present moment, okay? So just play with me here, all right? Playfulness is another attribute of personal power. So harness your power through presence and patient, peaceful play. All the power. Those are four of the attributes. So perspective is what we're focusing on here. So with playful, peaceful presence. So imagine that this is your brain, and each tree, each house, each thing. See, can I zoom? I cannot. Zoom with your eyeballs. So there's like obviously a lot of trees and houses and people and cars and stuff. There's a lot going on here, right? When we're in the midst of our everyday life experience, our conscious awareness only has access to approximately 5% of everything that's going on inside of us. And that can give us a limited perspective on the great expanse of all we truly are. This is intentional though. If we had access to the full 100%, our minds would just be like racing all the time, and we would just have like this full expanse of like all things, and like it would be really cool, but you could not get anything done. You would not be able to say, I am hungry, I am going to eat. Let me take one item out, let me take one item out, let me prepare the food. You couldn't have this step-by-step process through life if you had access to all of what's going on. And so it's intentional to only be able to access approximately 5% of your consciousness at a time. But in the process, sometimes we forget how expansive and miraculous we truly are. Sometimes we forget how much we're capable of. Sometimes we forget our deep, expansive divine worthiness. And so imagine that this is you. And when you're in the midst of it, you're just one person. You're just one neural network at a time. You're just one tree standing still. You're just one car driving on the road. But don't forget that there's all of this going on inside of you. Your present experience is not the entirety of who you are. Your present experience is not the entirety of your potential. Your present experience is not the entirety of what you are capable of. Your present moment awareness is not the entirety of your worthiness or who you are or what you can do or what all is truly going on inside of you. Okay? So in moment by moment awareness, we're just one person out there in this great expanse. We're just one neural network at a time. Or maybe a couple neural networks. Maybe you're a person in a car on a road. A couple neural networks at a time. But every brain has 100 trillion neural networks. 100 trillion neural networks. Let that number boggle your mind. Let that number be something so profoundly, miraculously, indescribably expansive that you sit for a while just going, whoa, I can't open my eyes that big. The wind. Imagine my eyes are open really dramatically large. Whoa. Like, spend some time just marveling at your own existence. And if you're ever getting, frustrated or discouraged, or you're feeling hopeless or sad or alone, or any of the unpleasant sensations that can naturally arise in this human experience, come back to the power of your perspective and remember that you are all of this. You are not just the one car you're experiencing. You are not just the one feeling. All of this also lives in you. Okay? You with me? Is this making sense? I hope so, because it's very helpful to have these perspectives to shift to. So if I'm walking around and I'm a person and I trip and I stub my toe and I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't do anything right. It hurts. Life is miserable. Life is pain. I can't even walk. How can I do anything if I can't even walk? Deep breath. Shift the awareness to the power of your perspective. I am not just this moment. I am not just this experience. I am all of this. I am the great expanse of 100 trillion neural networks. I am this experience compounded times millions and billions of potentials. I am everything. I am all of it. I am not just this one person in one car. I am the entire city in my brain. Okay? Hold on to the perspective, and for added healing journey benefits, practice the perspective shift when it's easy so that you have more access to get there when things get hard. So if you're going through a really severe panic attack and you try practicing this shift of perspective and pure presence and stuff, it might be really tricky to get there. But if you practice it when you're not panicking or not having a panic attack or not having the flood of anxiety, and you're like, okay, I'm just walking along, things are good, let me shift my perspective, and you play with it when things are okay, then you'll have more ability to get there when things get really hard. Okay? So, you are not just one person. You are not just one car. You are not just one tree. You are all of this. And this is an analogy for your brain, where your consciousness lives. Okay? Perspective is our power. We are more than we think we are. And we might only have access to a little piece at a time because that's how this human experience unfolds. It's designed to be that way. But we are more than our present moments. We are more than our thoughts. We are more than our feelings. We are more than we think we are. And when we can play with this perspective, we can increase our personal power access. Okay? You're the whole city. You're the whole entire city. You're all of it. Bask in the infinite glorious glow of all that you are. You deserve it. I love you, soul friends. I believe in you. I appreciate you. I thank you for being here. And if you're ever looking for healing journey guidance, I would be honored to connect with you through a consciousness consulting call. We share sacred healing space, and I help you explore your healing. I help you explore your consciousness from the inside out so that you have more power along your healing journey. You deserve to live in a consciousness that feels good to inhabit and experience life through. And I would be honored to step in as a healing journey guide so that you can understand yourself better and have greater empowerment and clarity on the journey ahead so that you know exactly what steps to take. Okay, here's your experience. Here's what it means. Here's what I do. Boom, I have clarity on how to reclaim my power for the next few weeks or maybe even months. You deserve that, and I would be honored to help with that. So please feel free to check out my website for more information. There's a bunch of magical links below for all the healing journey magics I offer. Or you can email me anytime at artistryofexistence@gmail.com, and we can book a session so that you can lovingly rise into your personal power by befriending your miraculous consciousness. You deserve it. You are already worthy. You are already enough. You are already more than you know. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Shiny fanny pack.